Welcome, engineers. Today you will embark on a 4-week journey to dive deeper into learning about conservation. At the end of your journey, you will think of a problem related to conservation that you want to solve. Ooh, that means that we're going to be able to solve a problem. Oh my goodness. And you will design or engineer a solution to that problem. Use this packet as your guide. You can also use resources online or on your school assigned tablet if you need to explore more about conservation. Ask your science teacher, me, if you have any questions along the way, but try your best to complete on your own, right? Trust yourself, you are a bright engineer. So we've already said that we're gonna do this together. So if you have the physical packet, go ahead and start filling this part out where it says your name, your scientist nickname, your grade, your class, your school. Go ahead and start filling that out.
Ms. Walker, can you say that again?
It says, so on a blank sheet of paper, if you don't have your packet, Josiah, write down your name, your scientist nickname, grade, class, and school. I'm going to put that in the chat so everybody can see. Scientist nickname, your grade. Go ahead and fill that out. I just put it in the chat.
Ms. Walker,
Yeah.
What do they mean by science nickname?
So that's like if you want to be, for example, like, Bill Nye, his nickname is the science guy. So if you want to give yourself a cute little science nickname, go ahead and do that.
Okay.
Keyshawn, did you fill that out or write it down? Huh?
I filled everything out except for the nickname.
Okay, if you can't think about the nickname, no pressure. You have a couple of weeks to change it. Cam, what do you want to change your name to? Text me what you want to change it to.
I want my original name.
Huh?
I want my original name, the name I came up on here with.
Okay. I don't know if I can change that.
You gotta go to emojis.
Yeah, I'm on my computer, not my phone. Okay. Is that okay?
Wait, does it say allow students to change their name?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, guys, so let's get started. Okay, so it says, what's up with conservation? So let's look at this image on the first page. It says reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Do you guys reduce, reuse, or recycle? And if you do, how do you do it? For example, I can say I recycle because like today is my trash and recycling day. So I put out all of my cardboard, all of my paper, all of my plastic bottles. How do you guys conserve? Either reduce, reuse, or recycle. Who can give me one way that they conserve?
I do all 3.
How?
Because when I'm done with a bottle, I throw it in a recycle bin.
Good.
Then if I need it sometime, I might reuse it, and then I recycle it.
Good. Thank you, Cam. Anybody else can give me any other examples? That was a very good one. And it may not just be recycling. If you've ever reused something, give me those examples. Jeremiah.
What I do is I recycle by throwing away paper and old stuff that I used to use.
Okay, thank you. Who's next? Jakaya and then Divine.
I,
Oh,
what I
Josiah.
recycle,
Huh?
what I recycle is like if I finish a water bottle, I will put it in a blender and then whatever you use, like I can reuse this bottle
Ooh.
because like
Miss Walker.
Hold on, Jakaya's talking.
and
Wait,
because
I have one. Miss Walker.
Hold on, y'all. While other people are talking, we're not talking. So I need you to wait for Jakaya to finish, okay? And then I'll come to you.
She's on mute.
I reuse it because you can wash it.
Okay, right. So some of our water bottles, we reuse them. We just wash it and keep putting water in it. That's a really good one. That helps save the earth a lot because we don't have to use as much plastic. Thank you. Josiah, I said Divine was next, and then it'll be your turn, okay?
Okay.
Awesome. Go ahead, Divine.
Yes.
Divine?
She's on mute.
She's frozen. I'll wait. Okay, Divine, go ahead and unmute yourself.
That's weird. Did she leave?
No.
Oh.
Go ahead, Divine, unmute.
Hey, Jeremiah.
Hey, Cameron.
While we're waiting, Josiah, go ahead and share.
You can recycle a aluminum foil pan.
Ooh, okay. And you can also reuse that. Anybody got any reduce examples? How you can reduce in order to conserve? Keyshawn?
I'm raising my hand.
Okay, Keyshawn and then Cam. Go ahead,
Okay.
Keyshawn.
I wasn't raising my hand.
Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Cam.
Okay. You can hold up. You can use, like, say if you were just drinking something, because I have a smoothie cup right here, and I don't want to throw this away because this is a special cup. So I'll keep on using it whenever I need to use it. And when I'm done with it, I'll reduce it.
Okay, so let me give an example of what it means to reduce. That means it's similar to actually Jakaya's example. Like, I'm reducing my use of water bottles, of the plastic water bottles, if I just use a bottle like this that I can just keep filling up and washing with water. That's reducing my use of plastic. Okay, you guys have some great examples.
Thank you.
Go ahead and turn to page 2 in your packet, or if you don't have your packet, just continue to track my screen.
Excuse me.
Yes.
You could recycle like sticky notes and cardboard.
Cardboard. Those are really good examples. Thank you, Divine. Okay, guys, give me a thumbs up when you are on page 2 of week 1. What is conservation? That's what it says. Thank you, Jeremiah. Thanks, Jakaya. Divine, can you turn your camera on? Thanks, Cam. Josiah, you're tracking my screen, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay, so it says read the information and use the information to complete the activity. If you have it in front of you and you want to read it on your own, go ahead and do that. I'm going to read it out loud, okay? We're going to stop when we get to these orange boxes, okay? So you can either read it on your own or follow along with Ms. Walker. Okay. It says week 1, what is conservation? Read the information and use the information to complete the activity. So, what exactly is conservation? Can everybody say that word for me?
Conservation.
Good. I see Jakaya's lip. Good. The word
Conservation.
conservation comes from to conserve, which means to preserve. Hold on, I'm gonna mute you guys so that I can hear myself read. Thank you. The word conserve means to preserve, to protect, to save, defend, or to support. It means the opposite of destroy, which is letting something be destroyed, right? So if I'm conserving something, I really want to protect it. I want to do all I can to protect it. And when it comes to the environment, well, we want to preserve or conserve the whole thing, right? I want to protect this environment. I want to conserve it. That means as conservationists, we're taking action to save the environment around us, like oceans, forests, and deserts. The animals that live in them, from birds to bears to bugs, in our planet's weather and climate. Let me reread that again because they just told me something important about my job. I'm a conservationist with this project. You guys are conservationists. That means you are going to take action to save the environment. You're going to be saving things like oceans, forests, and deserts, animals, and our planet's weather and climate. That is so exciting. The goal of conservation is to keep trying to save as much as we possibly can for as long as we can. What are we saving our environment from? Why is it so important to save? How do we do it? And what makes it so exciting? So now we get to our very first activity in this unit. It says activity 1, write down 2 things that explain what conservation is. So if you have this paper in front of you, go ahead and write down the 2 things that explain what conservation is. Feel free to use this text as you need it. Yes, Jeremiah.
Like write 2 in both of them, or like write 1 and write 2 of them, and 2 write 2 of them as well. Or
Now, good question. So 1, the box that says number 1, you're gonna write the first thing, and then the second, you're only writing the second thing. So just 1 in each box, okay?
okay.
Any questions about what we're doing right now? We're doing activity 1. What am I asking my 3rd graders to do? Who can tell it to me?
Ms. Can you say it again?
Yes, I can. Thank you, Jakaya, for speaking up when you were confused. Okay, so we got to activity 1 in our science book. I'm asking you all to write down 2 things, only 2. Everybody show me your number 2, that explain what conservation is. If I'm writing this on a blank sheet of paper, it's just pretty much 2 sentences. Conservation is this, and then conservation is that. Give me 2 different things that explain what conservation is. So that means that I may be looking back into my reading to help me think of some examples. Got it? That means Josiah.
Got it.
I should see you tracking my screen. Keyshawn, I should see you tracking my screen so that you all can reread what exactly is conservation. Okay? Divine, that means I should see your pencil moving. Jeremiah, great job. Keep it up. 2 things that explain what conservation is. Let's see. Ms. Walker just read this whole page about how conservation is to protect the animals. We got some images over here we can use. Just give me two examples in your own words that say what conservation is. Let's go, Divine. Good job, Jakaya. Josiah, how we doing?
Finished.
Let me write another one, Ms. Walker.
If you finish, yes, go right ahead. Cam, how we doing?
I was raising my hand the entire time, but I don't think you saw
I
me.
can't see you. Your video's off.
I raised my hand the time you said reservation. I was raising my hand, but I don't think nobody saw
Conservation.
me.
Okay, I'm sorry. If you don't have your video on, then I can't see what you're doing on that side.
No, I had my video on. I was raising my hand like this.
Okay, so go ahead and share.
I was gonna say you can example of reservation.
Conservation.
Conservation
Good.
is that you could some parents they conservation a baby.
What do you
That
mean?
means they you know how parents protect their babies?
Okay.
That's what I meant.
They conserve.
And I had a pet turtle once. He died because I forgot to feed him. But I'm about to have a dog, so I'm gonna make sure I feed him every single day.
Beautiful. Okay, who wants to share out one of the things that they wrote down to help explain what conservation is? I see one hand, I should see 6. Jeremiah, go ahead. Keyshawn, let's focus, please.
Conservation is to help plants to get their nutrients.
Okay. Making sure that all of the plants are protected and get their nutrients. Good. Who else?
All of my work came, Miss Walker.
What'd you say?
All of my work came, Miss Walker.
I can't hear you.
I said all of my work came.
Oh, awesome. So go ahead and get this packet out. Divine, go ahead. Divine, go ahead and share. What's one thing you wrote down that explained what conservation is? Go ahead and unmute. Divine, go ahead and unmute. Jakaya, go ahead and share.
So conservation is to destroy.
Is to do what?
Destroy.
Oh, pause. Does conservation mean to destroy? If I'm conserving the earth, do I want to destroy it? No, I want to protect it. Conservation is actually the opposite of destroy. Let me show you guys some examples. So in case you didn't get these, you can write them down. So conservation is to protect. That's one thing the text told me. Another thing the text shared with me is that conservation is to, wait, let me go back to the text. just so I can make double sure that I know what I'm talking about. Conservation, ooh, is something to save. What we can do to save the environment. So if you didn't write those down, go ahead and take notes. These are the two things that explain what conservation is.
Is this the word?
Wait, so we should, well, I thought,
Yes,
This is the word?
so we
yes
shouldn't,
it is.
so
Oh.
we shouldn't have write what we were supposed to write, like.
No, you can keep, if you have something different, Jeremiah, be sure to keep it. This is just additional notes to help friends. What happened? Okay. Okay, friends, so we just successfully completed week 1 of our conservation project. Okay? Give me a
Yes.
raise your hand if you do not have the packet,
The new packet?
the science packet, so that I can text it to you. Cam, you don't have the packet?
No, I don't.
Okay, who else? Josiah? You don't have the packet, right, Josiah?
Yes.
You have it or you don't?
No.
Okay, so I'm gonna get in contact with Miss Jackson so we can send it to you, okay?
Yes.
Okay, friends, so by the end of today, which we just did this together, you should have completed, let me share my screen again, activity 1 in your conservation project.
Yes, I did.
So if you did it today, then you're good. The next time we meet, we are going to go over activity 2. And as we keep going, the activities get more fun. There's a scavenger hunt in activity 3.
It gets even harder.
Oh, and there's a lab where we're going to visit a museum, okay?